Peace. Think fast. Message from the higher ups, from source, from ancestors, from all of the non-physical beings. They just want everybody to know that you don't have control over nothing. Now, of course, I'm being facetious with my delivery about it, but like when we sitting here and we working with the law of attraction and we trying to manifest things, you got to realize that we are a vessel, like, and that's why a lot of dealing with the law of attraction is about surrender. You know why it's about surrendering? You know what I'm saying? Two things coming to you because you are a vessel. Like, yes, we manifest things through, focusing on a certain thought, you know what I'm saying, by using certain affirmations. But even in us wanting, say, for when we think we want these certain things, in most cases, when we're not acting out of ego, is the spirit, it's our higher self flowing through us. So we still acting as a vessel, even though it feel like, well, yeah, like me, I want this, or but it's still the energies that's moving through you. You know what I'm saying? You're still being a vessel, and which you could tell the the difference in where you just super controlling and you might be like on the ego level. But if you're channeling a thought and then acting, then you moving with spirit. But we are vessels, and to think that you have control over the outcome of things in essence, as above, so below, law of correspondence. If you think you're controlling something, that's just the same as one of the blood cells in your body or one of the cells in your body think they have control over its day. Like it's in the body, like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the brain today, and then at about 5, I'm gonna go over to the stomach, holler at my other red blood cell partner, and it's like, nah, like and say for instance, when that blood cell's thinking from its ego, you know, it's thinking like that's what's gonna happen. But then here I am, the bigger body, like shit, nah, like I'm drinking some type of supplement or something that's gonna make that blood cell go somewhere else. So it thought it was gonna go to the brain and go to the stomach at 5, but it's like, nah, Carre, the bigger body, had something else in store. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing with us. Is you know, on our human experience, as vessels, we don't have control over this. We are in a big body. We are like the cells in that big body. And whenever something, matter of fact, even like whenever Mother Earth decides to do a certain thing, then that vibration moves through us. Not say, for instance, if that blood cell was, quiet in its mind, and quiet its mind, like, all right, feel like car ray is gonna allow me to flow this way, and then at this time it's gonna allow me to flow this way. So let me go with the motions of, with that information I just channeled. Let me move on it so that blood cell, go where it was guided to go, instead of thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to the brain at this time and I'm going to the stomach at this time. And it's like, nah, you don't have that specific control. And even getting down into like where it always brings up, so universal, is it are we just destined? Like, do we just have a certain destiny? We don't have no control to a certain extent. Like, yes, you do have some influence over, picking certain things, of course, but then in most cases, though, when you're getting in your ego and making these individual choices, you're not in alignment with source, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like, again, like with us being humans, because we are able to think so much, it allows us to be so out of alignment with source compared to a tree or a plant or animal that don't have that consciousness to overthink and separate itself from that, that movement of being one with source, you know what I'm saying? But we have this illusion of thinking, we control, and rightfully so, because even down to where when I first was learning the law of attraction, I first was told like, well, yeah, like you are a god, you are an extension of source, first, when you first kind of play with that concept, you thinking like, all right, like I really have full control. Like it kind of give you the idea that you have full control over your manifestations, and that it has a little falseness to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, you have full control over your manifestations to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? It's when you connect and when you're one with your inner source, then things manifest like bloop 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 bloop. But when it's outside of your purpose and outside of dealing with your inner soul, now even though you could force it, you know what I'm saying, like, and still manifest some things, even though you're outside of that purpose. But for the most part, you have to be in alignment with that purpose. So again, us thinking we got control over things is the same as a cell in your body thinking it's gonna control its day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, nah, it works off of with the higher, matter of fact, I am the higher self to the cells in my body, you know what I'm saying? And then I got a higher self that, that I deal with, you know what I'm saying? My higher self got a higher self that it deals with. And it's just a hierarchy of as above, so below, and in the fractals, you know what I'm saying? Like, basically a continuum of never ending fractals. But again, we don't have any, that direct control. And then back to the destiny thing where, you know, you have like a certain soul purpose and destiny. Now, of course, you could pick to drink a smoothie today instead of eating some celery. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you really made that choice. And then 2 years you'll be able to tell if you channeled or if it was your choice or whatever. But, in essence, that was your choice, yes. But the bigger outcome in that day or the situation, like those little tedious things, you may have control over in essence, but it's about the bigger outcome. So all these little small things, it in essence you have a control over it, but again you're just channeling high vibrations, because in some cases, like, again, when you're thinking you're making choices, it may be a channel thought that you're acting upon, but you think you thought it, so it's like, oh yeah, today I'm gonna eat celery, but in essence it's your spirit guide, like, today is a nice day to eat celery, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a mixture thing, because even with me explaining it, I'm having to watch myself at not making it confusing, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how many levels it is, you know what I'm saying? The intricacies into the situation, different strings being pulled from all different places, so many variables in essence. But for the most part, in the bigger picture of the situation, we are just vessels, you know what I'm saying? The energy moves through us, you know what I'm saying? Just like a tree is not sitting there thinking about, how can I grow today? What I'm gonna do today? Nah, that tree is not thinking, it's just being. It knows its purpose, it's connected with its purpose. So, it doesn't worry about making decisions or who I'm gonna be when I grow up, because it's in its DNA and in its being on who is going to grow up and what it's going to do today, you know what I'm saying? Again, back to our minds thinking trying to control everything and thinking we have control over so much when we really don't. We are vessels that allow the vibration of source, the vibration of nature to flow through us, you know what I'm saying? And then on the added aspect, to somewhere revisit an old thought about again, like with our brains being like you know, I brought up like being like an antenna, but you would consider like an antenna, like more like a radio in essence, you know what I'm saying? A radio or a TV. Because here it is, that say, for instance, right now in my brain, I could envision being in San Francisco by the Golden Gate Bridge right now. But is San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge really in my brain right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, the brain brings, it channels these visions like a TV channel. You could change the channel on the TV, same thing. And say, for instance, I change the channel on the TV and it's showing San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge. Does that mean that San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge is actually in my TV? You know what I'm saying? Nah. Same thing with your brain, it's just pulling in these images, matter of fact, from the bigger. So just like your TV or your radio works off a bigger network, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with us. We're working off a bigger network, Some people like to call that big network source, you know what I'm saying? But we're working off a bigger network. And we channel these things with our television, you know what I'm saying? This radio slash television in our head, we go through different broadcasts and different channels, you know what I'm saying? Picking up on different radio stations, you know, and pick up on different information and different visions. a matter of fact, and then like more a real more how can I say a more realistic example of antenna would be, you know, the hair, long hair. Matter of fact, you realize like a lot of, you know, and this across the board, this wise people on most levels. Matter of fact, and what's funny, wise on all levels, creed, colors, everything. Like most people that, you know, consider themselves wise or into spirituality, you notice that they'll let their hair grow, whether it's a beard or it's dreadlocks, you know what I'm saying, or just hair, you know, just hair being long in general. But you know, the hair is like an extension, you know, and like antennas. Matter of fact, they had a situation back in the day. I can't remember if it was like an experiment or not, but I know, and I talked about this in one of my videos, and I know some of y'all know of this situation where they had some Indians. You know, the Indians had the long hair, and they would use them to, like the Indians were like guides and navigate and stuff like that. But whenever they chopped off the Indians' hair, then it made them hard for them to, you know, I don't know if I may have to move, but when he chopped off the Indians' hair, it made it harder for them to have a sense of direction. Like they didn't really, you know, have that same. Matter of fact, the same Indians, same people with the same knowledge of, you know, navigating themselves, they were kind of lost like after their hair got cut, because the antenna, like they got the, you know, you got your vision, you got your TV or your radio inside, you know, in here. Then you got your antennas picking up on a certain, you know, how you had to, oh wait, hold on, I can't see the picture, move it a little bit to the, all right, now I got it, You know what I'm saying? As antennas, you know what I'm saying, picking up on information, you know, in which I know a lot of people ask me to talk about the hair situation, which I haven't got deep into. That's why I just ran it right quick, you know what I'm saying, because I want to do some more research directly, because I'm a person too, when I do deliver this type of information on a deeper level, I want to really, really know what I'm talking about. So I want to know like why, what chemically is in our hair. You know what I'm saying? Like that's things that I still want to research, matter of fact, and channel knowledge about. But you know, and I'm pretty sure like the hair has some type of molecule or something that's connected to the pineal or something in the brain. You know, so that that chemical, that molecule is creating that invisible connection in that sense, you know what I'm saying? But in fact, the invisible connection, just like the TV and radio to its antenna and pulling in waves, you know, invisibly. But the images that we pull, you know, because at one time, you know, and a lot of people may think like, oh yeah, the memories, I gotta go into my brain and put. It's like, nah, it's almost like your brain or your consciousness is everything and everywhere. You're tapped in to the collective consciousness. Matter of fact, the World Wide Web could be seen as the collective conscious, and your computer is like the brain also. You know what I'm saying? You could Google search certain things, you know, and channel certain information. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, go searching for certain information and bringing certain information in. But the brain, you know, is more like a radio, like a TV. And even though you have these images that you could pull up and watch, you know what I'm saying, and it could be vivid, like a lucid dream, but those things are not necessarily in your brain, just like those images on your TV is not in your TV, or the voices coming out of the radio, they're not actually in the radio. You know, they're being channeled from unseen vibrations, you know, a quote unquote unseen wavelength, you know what I'm saying, that really all of us could tap into, but you just gotta tune into the right station or put your TV on the right channel. Then you could bring in that certain information, you know what I'm saying? But then back to the beginning of this video, again though, we are vessels, because that adds to that point, you know, like we are vessels. We're not, yes, it seems like we have like control on that level, but we don't necessarily have like that control. Even when we feel like we have control, we may be, matter of fact, when we feeling like we have control, maybe that's because we're in alignment with our destiny, so it feels like we're really picking. But nah, you're just working off of channeled information. I always do like it's coming from outside, but I mean it's really inside, you know. It's channeled information coming from out of your DNA, you know, from your pineal gland, you know, bringing in you know what I'm saying, information, as well as bringing up and out the information up out of the DNA, you know what I'm saying, from the inner verse. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what a DMT trip is like in essence too, is dealing with the information and flowing through the microcosm and the macrocosm. So as much as you would be outside of, of this realm in your body, you're also going really, really deep inside of your, your inner universe, your inner body and things of this nature. But again, we are just vessels. It's about being in alignment with your inner source. And that matter of fact, and again, that's why being in alignment, it shows you that, all right, things just manifest for me easily. I know, because you're not, in essence, meant to individually, separately from source, create and control things. It's like, nah, you know what I'm saying? It's going to manifest whenever you're in alignment with your inner source, in alignment with your soul purpose. But when you begin to like try to do things off, that's why it's all, matter of fact, you could tell whenever your ego trying to overwork or do something because you don't get easy results. It's always hard, and I always feel like it was a struggle because you were acting off of egotistical, actions. You were acting off of motivation, like you kind of push yourself to do what you did, instead of inspiration, where you had an inspired thought, to act upon something. You know what I'm saying? Compared to just like, oh man, well, I'm feeling like I, how can I say, like you feel like you gotta be doing something and this and that, so you acting out of like from an ego standpoint. Because even then, like, well, the ego feel like the only way to exist, and that's why it's another struggle with that, allowing things to come to you, because the ego feel like it doesn't exist if it's not thinking and controlling things, and things of this nature. So that's another reason why the ego in essence throws off the manifestations and throws off your understanding of how the law of attraction works. Because matter of fact, because again, like on my goal, when I heard it's like, oh, all right, all I gotta do is affirm, all I gotta do is just think these thoughts, all right, cool. But it's like, nah, it's about being in alignment first being, and then you receive. First, after you be, you quiet your mind, then you receive an inspired thought, and then you do. So first be, second, as the mind is quiet and you're being, you receive an inspired thought, and that's what you act upon, you know what I'm saying? So if it is meant for you to do some work physically on whatever it is you're working with, it should come from an inspired thought and not out of like motivation, like where you pushing yourself. Like I always put like the carrot hanging in front of the face, like I feel like I have to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because I just was speaking to my brother, I made an example like, well, all right, here it is where I feel like, all right, I have to do a video right now. I just have to. Well, while I'm forcing myself to do this video, I'm missing out on all the synchronicities that were lined up for me, you know what I'm saying, with spirit. I'm missing out on all that. And then when I get back, if I didn't have understanding, I would feel like, well, man, things just not manifesting for me, man. This and that. Well, yeah, they're not going to manifest when you're forcefully doing things through your ego. When you had a path already synchronized, already here, all you had to do was just go with the flow. But because our egos are so scared of going with the flow, our ego feel like it doesn't exist when it goes with the flow. That's why going with the flow makes you nervous. It makes you feel like something is out of whack. But in essence, how can I say, that type of nervousness is not gonna say the good type of nervousness, but if you feeling that, doing, like whenever you're just letting go of boundaries and you're just going with the flow and you feel some type of anxiety, then don't trip, because that's the good anxiety. That means your ego just getting scared, but that means you working on your ego and busting it down in essence. Another thing too, we're not really combating with the ego as much as you're taming it like a dragon, and you end up learning how to pet it, and feed it and teach it when to let out fire and when not to, you know what I'm saying? But just all, matter of fact, I know this everywhere. Matter of fact, I'm getting back to doing videos like this where it's just information, like, no boundaries, no, just letting it flow out, But again, and I'm gonna end on that note, like we are vessels. That's why the law of attraction again is about, you put out your affirmations, things of this nature, and then you get into the receptive mode, or like in the quote-unquote surrendering mode, like where you allow the manifestations to flow to you now. always make me think back too to when to the story of me and my brethren was searching all them houses, searching, and then the thought hit me like, oh wait, all right, back off now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all done put up, you done did enough of work. Matter of fact, kind of pushing through work to a certain extent. Like once you got so far, it was like chill. Now let the universe do what it does and do what it wants to do for you. That's the thing. Like the universe want to take care of you. And matter of fact, especially like we are the universe. So it's like wanting to take care of ourselves. Like who doesn't want to take care of themselves? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, of course, they got people that in an insane situation, you know what I'm saying? They may not, want to take care of themselves, but for the most part, all of us love to love ourselves, and the universe love to love us because the universe is us. So you know what I'm saying? So the universe is always looking out for us, but we gotta pay attention to the omens and know that we are a vessel, that we're not out here necessarily quarterbacking and, Nebraska and, calling audibles like that, It's more of us being in alignment with our higher self and basically being, matter of fact, having that clear cognizance. Matter of fact, because I realize that's what I have. Clear cognizance is more of like, matter of fact, like channel thoughts. So like instead of I'm sitting around and, matter of fact, clairvoyance is like a spirit guide giving you a vision, and then when you talk about channeling, in essence, some people actually get like words, you know what I'm saying? But then for clear cognizance, it's more of like you just receive a thought, just like, I mean, split second, just out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying, just shoots down into your brain. That's the clear cognizance. But in essence, though, that's what we're supposed to use and move off of. We are vessels that deal with spirit, you know what I'm saying? That's why the DMT trips and everything that's about spirituality is about breaking down that left brain, or that form of that male egotistical thinking that you could control things and trying to control things, and as above so below, because you see that vibration personified through through the white European, the white male structure, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, it's like through that logic, left brain, you gotta prove it, you know what I'm saying? Things of this nature. And matter of fact, because I don't know if I said that in one of my videos, but that's the duality of the universe, is on a physical level as human beings, is the white man and the black woman, you know what I'm saying? That's the yin and the yang, regardless of what people would like to think. Because matter of fact, when I come out with this type of information, this is the type of stuff that a book won't tell you. Like, this is stuff that come from spirit. When I get stuff from spirit, I ain't gonna say I don't care, but I mean, in essence, it really don't matter to care what somebody really has to say about it if I know I'm getting the information straight from source. Like, I'm not gonna get some information from source and then let a human being with their ego mixed in the information they telling me, I'm gonna take their information over something I channeled in a DMT trip. It's not gonna happen, because I know what I got, and I know what I got was real, So to the people, oh no, that ain't the duality. Whatever. You could, look at it however you want. Matter of fact, it's a free will universe. I know that for a fact too. So, but that's basically it. You know what I'm saying? We are vessels that channel. You know what I'm saying? That bring in information, and we're not necessarily calling the shots on that level. You know what I'm saying? So it's about getting alignment with your inner source. It's about being first, then uh, having that inspired action, or basically channeling the information, channeling that thought, and then after you get that thought or that inspired action, then you act upon it. So first being, you know what I'm saying, then second, you know what I'm saying, you receive the inspired thought, and you act upon that inspired thought, doing it. That's the way it works. But peace, happy now, not too far in the future, too far in the past, right now.